Welcome to Green Food Forest, where I share practical gardening tips and special tips on how to garden in Central Texas. In today's video, I'm going to give you a quick tour of my entire backyard raised gardens as well as my container gardens. My garden is located in Central Texas in the 9A, 8B region, so we get a lot of long, warm weather as well as harsh winters, but for a limited period of time. In this first raised bed, I have densely planted a lot of spring veggies as well as some summer starts. In the front, I have some cilantro and kale, and here I have a lot of carrots ready to harvest anytime now, and green beans. These are doing really well. This is the bush beans, the Blue Lake variety, and loaded with a lot of beans to harvest at this time. Here I have a cantaloupe that I plan to just trail off the garden bed, and this is parsley, a curly leaf variety, doing really well in the spring here. Over here I have a row of beets, and you can see some good beets forming, again ready to harvest. These are cluster beans. It's again another bean variety that grows a little bit later in summer, and I have interplanted some French marigolds and vincas to add beauty and pollination. And here's some basil. And in this part of the bed, I have densely planted some onions, as well as this is okra that is growing to replace the onions as soon as I harvest them. And this is the beautiful okra flower, and here's an okra forming. So this bed will have a lot of okra in the coming days. This is an early girl tomato variety that I am training over this arched trellis. There's already good fruit set, and the weather has been a little bit milder and gloomy in the last few weeks, and so that's really helped with a lot of the pollination and fruit set even in May, because usually by now we'll have a lot of hot weather and then sometimes it doesn't help pollination, but this year has been so far good. Over here I have some peas that are done for the season. I have just let them dry so I can collect some seeds. But in the back here on the trellis, I have butternut squash, ash gourd, and bottle gourd here that are all growing up this trellis again, and will fill up the trellis in the coming weeks. In the back of the bed again, I continue to have more okras. These are smaller okra plants, as well as a lot of onions, which should be ready to harvest anytime now. This is raised bed number 2. Again, filled up pretty much with all the sprint and upcoming summer planting. In the front here, I have cosmos that are starting to grow out now, and they would fill up the bed pretty soon. Behind them, I have these zinnias. I had topped them off when they were a little smaller, so they have a lot of good branching, as you see. So this will lead to good sturdy plants instead of lean stems. Zinnias make great cut flowers, great pollinators, so one of my personal favorites to grow. And in the back here, I have two Thai green chilies, a spicy green chili variety that is really good for spicy curries. They freeze well. In fact, I'm still using some of the ones that I've frozen from last year. And once these greased chilies become red, I also dry them to have dried red chilies that I can use in curries, or even powder them to make red chili powder. So they're really great. And behind them, I have some snacking peppers. These are called the gypsy. They're not spicy, so they're good snacks. Nice crunch. And over here, I have more green beans. And right behind them, there's kale, still growing well. They'll probably slow down in the coming weeks as it becomes hotter, but so far they're doing really good. And on this side, I have another slacking pepper. And you can see some red pepper forming already on the sweeter side, and nice crisp texture, and I really enjoy them. More flowers here and some basil. I also have some beets growing here. Just mix them up in my raised beds. This is the early girl. This is one of the plants that I had put it out in spring, much earlier than the other tomato plants. So that's why it's like pretty well established, huge tomatoes. There are more growing up this trellis, lots of flowers as well, so doing really well. And right beside them, I have more gourds. I have ridge gourd here, which is the loofah variety, but with more ridges. So it's called ridge gourd. And I have another bottle gourd here. Cut off the bottom stems, leaves after some hail damage, but still doing pretty well. Taken off here on the top of the trellis, and I should be able to harvest some bottle gourds pretty soon. Here's the back view of that raised bed, where I have more carrots here, and you can see the vines on both sides of the trellis here. What we see here is actually a turmeric plant, and I had sowed this sometime in late March, I believe, when it was a bit warmer, and only one of them have sprouted, and I wonder if the others are even going to sprout at this time, because I feel with a lot of rain this spring they may have rotted. But hopefully I'll get a good supply of turmeric from this one tuber that has grown really well. And over here there's an jalapeno, so I've just packed everything up. This is another side view of the second raised bed with more gourds. There's snake gourd and bitter gourd here, as well as these, which are flat beans that are growing up the trellis. And here I have the sweet 100 cherry tomatoes, really yum, sweet like their name suggests, and again lots of flowers and growing really well. This is raised bed number 3, again fully loaded with a lot of different produce. I have beets and lots of green beans here again. These will be cleaned up in about a month or so as I harvest everything out, and then I'll have more zinnias here. I have a few growing already, but I'll plant more flowers here as I harvest this front portion out, so the flowers will replace them. And in the back here I have a potato that I didn't sow this year. It's probably some residual potato from the previous years that just sprouted and I let it grow, so it's grown really well. Hopefully I'll get a good supply of potatoes. And here I have a beautiful French marigold variety. I just love this vibrant orange color. There's also a yellow one there, that's a smaller variety, but again very pretty as well as very beneficial for your plants. I have staked here two celebrity tomatoes. They are a determinate variety, so they wouldn't grow as tall, but they do really well here in the spring season and will have a lot of tomatoes setting up right now. On this side, I have my first eggplant variety. This is the patio baby. So it has small sized eggplants like this one. There's a lot ready to harvest right now. They make great curries as well as just simple stir fries. And as you can see, there's a lot of flowers. I'll have a good supply of eggplants in the coming weeks. Here I have more flowers. This is a dianthus, more marigolds, and in the middle here I have a bell pepper that is growing well. I harvested a couple of bell peppers last week, and there are some more flowers setting up. So hopefully I'll have more before it gets too hot. On this side of the trellis, I have more sweet 100 tomatoes ready for harvest, as well as lots of clusters forming. And I have more snake gourds, flat beans, as well as bitter gourds. They have really pretty looking leaves that are all winding up this side of the trellis. In the back of this bed, I have sowed some carrots as well as ginger that I again sowed along with turmeric. So here we can see a lot of ginger that has sprouted. So ginger has done a lot better than the turmeric. And this is an eggplant variety called Ichiban, long eggplants. And then this is again the side of the trellis where I have more vines, and this one is cantaloupe growing up. I may need to add some support to hold the cantaloupes as they start forming, but for now really taking out on the trellis, it's doing well. And this is Juliet tomatoes. It's a more oblong, longer looking tomatoes, similar to Roma, but I believe they don't get as big, but looks really good. And here's again my favorite marigold filling up the space beautifully. This is the last raised bed, and it's taking off pretty well as well. In the front here, I have the last patch of spinach as well as some cosmos, and this one here is a zucchini. It's on the smaller side, so let's see if it can take up and start growing well in the coming weeks. More zinnias here, and in this back row I have 3 pepper varieties. This one is the Anaheim and already has a good set of peppers to harvest, and this is a bell pepper variety called California Wonder. It's doing well. I have 2 of those that have started to grow out, and in the back here I have the variety of eggplant that is a a bit on the larger side. It's called the Black Beauty. So one growing already. So this will grow pretty big in the coming days. More marigolds, more tomatoes. I have two celebrity hairs growing. Some more marigolds on the smaller side. And on this trellis, I have more long beans this time. This is the yard long variety, which produces about a yard long beans. The Chinese long variety does really well here in early summers, late summers when it's not too hot. And then these two are again different gourd varieties that are going. This is ash gourd, and this in the back here are leaves of ivy gourd. And over here, this is cucumbers that are growing on top of this trellis. That's the cucumber plant. Here's Roma tomatoes up next, and some dianthus, and more Roma tomatoes here, as well as some cilantro. And this is the other Anaheim pepper towards the front of the bed. And there are a few more that I should be harvesting right now. So yeah, that's all my 4 raised beds here. That's where I grow most of my produce that my family loves. This here is my in-bed raised compost bin, where I throw in my vegetable and other kitchen wastes from time to time, and the worms really break down these scraps. Worms are probably buried underneath. They do a good job of breaking down this and making good worm castings as well as compost. So on to my containers. So here are the potatoes. These 2 big ones have potatoes growing, and since it's already mid-May, the foliage is dying back, which means I should be able to harvest potatoes in another week or 2. And I usually stagger my harvest so I can get a fresh supply of potatoes for a few days. Here there's more potatoes and mint, although not really edible, but I want to take the moment to show off my 2 beautiful bougainvilleas. They are 3 years old, and every year they put up a beautiful show of flowers, and I absolutely love them. Here's the last set of my container garden. Here's a fig cutting that I'm growing in a container, and it's already started to set some breba crop. So there are little figs forming, so exciting. And then this is my Satsuma orange with good fruit set. Here I have lots of curry leaves, and I have zucchini that's taking off well. And this is carrots in the middle that I should be able to harvest in the coming weeks. In the back here, I have my Meyer lemon, and over here I have my key lime. And in the back here, I have some basil transplants hardening off that I will be planting into my raised beds in the coming days. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more gardening content. Thanks for watching.